opinion?
Well, I think you can. I mean, I think you can slow down the system, but you have to build fences. You can't, on the edges, you have to take away the perimeter run game. That's number one. So I think you have to do that. You have to be able to play the tempo, which is something that's going to be important. But in the end, it's going to be Mariota scrambling, I think, because it doesn't matter. You can put a spy on him that's a linebacker. That's great. They better be Dion. I mean, you're talking about a freak show athlete that's got long strides, that's quick, can make you miss, that can take it to the house. I mean, so, listen, you take him off this team, it's a 6-win team. It's a 7-win team. I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, he's had a great year with all the injuries and everything. This team has been decimated with injuries. It's amazing to see how they've handled all these injuries.
Why do you think Florida State's lost some respect this year, sort of across the board? I mean,
because they haven't played well.
Yeah,
Simple.
they're still winning every game.
Okay, but they haven't played great. I mean, last year, think about where the bar was set a year ago. I mean, last year the competition they played was weak, but they pulverized the competition. Every game was over at the half. So this year you come in and you start struggling with some of these teams that are average teams. You are what you do. You are what you accomplish, and yes, you win. But when you struggle against bad teams, I think that leaves a taste in people's mouths that you're not as good as we think you are. A win is a win, yes, but I think people, that's what people look at.
So in your eyes, the perception is accurate. They're just not as good clearly as good as last year's team.
Not even close.
Yeah.
They don't hold a candle to last year's team, and that doesn't mean they can't win a national title. That's a stupid statement. If people think they can't win it, they're still good enough to win the whole thing. There is no dominant team in college football this year. There is no team that I'm pointing to going, if they don't play their A game, they're still going to win. Florida State last year against every ACC competition team, they could play their D game, C game, and still win every game. Easily. That's not the case this year.
So how do you see this playing out?
What do you mean, how do I see it playing out?
How do you see this contest playing out?
I see a high-scoring game. Both defenses have been disappointing. Obviously, Oregon with Efo, the injury, makes an impact as well. But I think which team can make the least amount of mistakes. I think that's how I see it playing out.
And talk about the experience that Florida brings in this contest. Do you think that will be an advantage for them?
I mean, I think the experience is great, but Oregon has experience too, and they've played a bunch of games too. So and they got number 8, who's been starting for a number of years. I think it's who can play without making the least amount of mistakes. I think experience is something that's good. You can say you've been there, but it ain't like Oregon hadn't played in a lot of big games. I don't think that's the deciding factor for me.
So you'd like to see Oregon and Alabama?
I would have liked to see them in the semifinals. Is what I'm saying. That would have been great. I think that would have been just a fun, because we've talked about it for years. Speed versus power, and that would have been a fun matchup. But this is a great matchup. I mean, this one, Heisman Trophy winner versus Heisman Trophy winner. I can't remember the last time you had probably 2 top 10 quarterbacks playing against each other. Maybe Leinart and Vince Young. So there's plenty of talent, different systems, different styles. It'll be fun regardless. It would have been fun to see Alabama and Oregon too. That would have been great. Alabama and anybody that seems to like to watch. So.